Welcome everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. All right. So welcome to another live stream. And today we're gonna learn about automations and AI with make.com. All right. So let me go ahead and give you an introduction about me. Anybody who's watching, go ahead and put where you're watching from, what city or country you're watching from in the chat. All right. So my name is Jean-Marc Julian, and I have about 20 years of experience in the tech industry. And I am from Cap Haitian, Haiti. I'm currently residing in Chicago, Illinois. So I'm a software engineer, full stack software engineer with, like data experience. I worked primarily in the healthcare and retail industry, building data intensive products. For example, I've built some automated systems that would gather data from different healthcare platforms, getting patient vitals and such, and then um, you know, building care management products that the insurance companies, healthcare, hospitals, and doctors can use to monitor patient health. So that's my software engineering background, but I recently, past 8, 10 years, have been training and teaching. So I've worked with a lot of enterprises, upskilling their engineers, and also helping people break into the technology field. So that's digital transformation work. But lately, I've been focusing on AI and automation. And so today's live stream is going to be focusing on that. We're going to be using a tool called make.com. It's similar to Zapier, if you ever heard of that. And so we're going to be able to automate our business processes, or even personally, we can automate some of the things that we do as well with make.com. So let's go ahead and go to their website and see what this tool is all about. All right. Okay, so make.com basically is a tool that is connected to it has thousands of integrations. So for example, you can connect it to your Gmail, you can connect it to your Google Docs, you can connect it to a whole bunch of AI platforms like ChatGPT, and so you can even connect it to your customer management system. So you're able to integrate all of these different tools together and automate different processes. So you can flow data from one tool to another, and you can have that done in an automated fashion. All right. So you can see this little graph here. We have you saw a little an image of like a bunch of tools working together, and so that's really what this is all about. Um, it's used in a lot of different uh, departments, whether it's IT, operations, marketing, sales. See if they got any other information here. So you can see like this image is showing you you've got all these different tools that are working together, integrated together, and you're able to automate the different processes. All right, so enough of an introduction on that. Let's go ahead and log into our account and see what project we're going to be working on in this live stream. All right, I'm going to log in here. It's you can get an account for free. All right. So when I log in, I get onto my dashboard. Before I go ahead and show you how this tool works, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be making here. So I'm here on my Google Drive. I have a folder for my make demo. So I have a Word document. Let's take a look at this Word document. Okay. So in this Word document, I have um, what appears to be like an email, right? So in this project, in this demonstration, we're going to simulate how you can process emails that are incoming. Let's say you have a business where you get a lot of requests for quotes. You can process and parse that data, and then you can gather all of the data that's in those emails. And the goal is we want to be able to send that to a spreadsheet or a database and organize all that information. So if we were doing this by hand, or if we were doing this manually, I should say, we would have somebody who would have to read the email. All right. So this email says, "Hello, Jean-Marc. I hope this message finds you well. My name is Sarah Thompson. I'm from Global Bridge Consulting. We're looking to have a document translated from Haitian Creole to English. Here are the details." And then they show the number of words, they show the subject, they show the deadline, and they show the document source. And then we have information about the person who contacted me. Okay, so if this was being done by a person, they would have to parse all of that information manually. And then let's go back here. And let's say this is like a database or a spreadsheet. Then they would have to enter all of that information into the spreadsheet. So here's the name, here's the company, here's the email, number of words, all the information that we saw in the email, right? This is the source language. This is the target language. This is the title or the subject, the deadline, and the file format. This is all of the information that we were able to gather manually from the email or the document. We want to be able to automate that process. And so this is how we're going to use make.com. And we're going to automate that process. And in the middle of that process, though, we're going to have to enter an AI agent that is going to process the information that is in the email. So let's go ahead and get started and build this agent. Okay, so we're going to go back to make.com. And when you sign on to your make.com dashboard, you're going to see this information. This is the history or the usage. But first thing you want to do is you want to create what's called a scenario. So let's go ahead and look at our menu here, and we're going to click on the scenario button. Okay, I have a couple scenarios here, but I'm going to create a new scenario. So we're going to hit this plus button here. And now we are ready to create our first scenario or our first automation. Okay, so you'll see this plus button here. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. Okay, so this is the beauty of make.com. It has access to thousands of tools that we probably already use, and we can integrate and connect these tools together. So let's look for the tool that we want. So we said that we were going to start with an email, but for this example, I don't want to actually connect my email. I'm just going to use that document that I showed you that is simulating an email. So let's look for that. So we're going to go Google Docs. Okay. So we're going to connect Google Docs to this automation. All right. So what we want to do is we want to get the content that's within that document. What we're doing here is we've connected the tool that we use, and now we can go ahead and find a list of actions. In Google Docs, right, we can create new content. In Excel, we can create new rows. We can update rows. We can delete rows. These are all actions we can do in an application. So in make.com, we have access to those actions. So in this example, I want to get the content of a document. All right. So let me go ahead and click on that. So that is the action we want to do. Okay. So what we've just done, let me go ahead and get out of here. Okay. So what we've just done is we've created a scenario. All right. And then we created a module. We added a module that is connected to the specific tool or application that we use. So this right here, this is a module. So this is the Google Docs module. Okay. So after we create a module, what do we have to do? We have to configure that module. So that's what we're going to do here. So in this example, this module is Google Docs, but it has to know which uh, it has to know whose Google account to connect to, right? So here I am adding my Google Docs account information. So I've already done that. But when you're going to be working on this, you can go ahead and connect your Gmail account. Or if it was another tool, you would connect your account to that tool. It's very simple. You just got to put in your credentials. All right. So I've already done that already. Now I need to configure my module, right? So this, oh, 1 second. All right, so my camera went out of focus there. It goes out of focus every 30 minutes, but we're back here. Okay, so we are going to click on mapping and we're going to click drop down because this is going to allow us to select the file that we want to work with. All right, so my drive. So we're gonna select my drive because that's like your default drive in the Google suite. So then we're gonna go ahead and click the file that has the information that we want. So in this example, my file's name is make document. Probably can't see the full text there, but it's make document. So let's go back and we're going to select that file. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't make document. It was make demo. So that's the folder, and then the file is make demo. Okay, so what have we done here? We've connected our we've created a module for Google Docs. We selected the action for getting content from that document. And then we connected our account so that it uses our Gmail account or Google Suite account. Then we selected the file that we want to work with. So we have access to the file now. Let's go ahead and hit save. All right. Very good. We've successfully created our first module and we've successfully configured it. So the next thing that we want to do is we want to connect other modules because we have to flow data from one module to another. We want to automate the process of parsing that document and then sending it to Excel, right? So we need to connect the other modules that we need. Specifically, in this case, we are going to connect an AI tool that is going to behave as an AI agent that's parsing the information. So let's go ahead and create that. So we could connect OpenAI and configure ChatGPT to parse that information, but actually Make.com has its own AI tools, and that's going to be a little bit simpler. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to put AI, and then we're going to say Make AI tools. So what are we doing again? We are creating a new module and we're selecting the action that we want to do. So we're going to say extract information because remember, if we were doing this manually, what we would be doing is reading that email and then extracting different fields so that we could put it in our Excel spreadsheet. So the action we want to do here is extract information from text. All right. And now, what's the next step? Yes, you've got it right. We need to configure the tool for the information that we need. Okay, so, all right. Actually, let me step back a little bit. No. Okay. So um the beauty here is when you're connecting two modules together, you can get data to flow from one module to another. This is called mapping. So what we're going to do is we're going to map information from the Google document into our Make AI tool. So it's asking here for the Make AI tool, what text do you want me to work with? What text do you want me to parse? So when we click here, um, uh, all of the information from the Google Docs module shows up so that we can select that information to have it flow into our Make AI tool, our AI agent. So we're going to click on, is it the body? No, not the body. We're going to click on text content. Okay. So let's go ahead and click on text content. Um, and then we'll close this. Okay. Yes, we're going to close this. We're going to click. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, we need to tell our AI agent what to do, actually. So, when you're using ChatGPT, you can talk to it in regular English, just like you're talking to a human. So you can prompt it. We need to do that here. We need to prompt our Make AI a tool, our AI agent. We need to prompt it about what it is we're trying to do. So let's go ahead and do that now. So, um, what I'm going to say is, um, you are a helpful assistant with access to um, email. I need you to parse the information in the email and extract some fields. Okay. Then we're going to say, here are the fields. Okay. So let's see what fields we want to extract from the email message. Rather than doing it from here, we're going to actually go to the Excel spreadsheet that already has the fields listed. I'm going to copy all of these fields. And I'm going to paste them in this prompt, and then I'll organize it later. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay. So the fields are, the fields that I want are going to be the email address. Oh, let's get this out of the way. Email address. And I want the word count. Oh man, I wish this would stop popping up. I want the language source. I want the language target. Sorry about that. And then I want the deadline. It's probably going to happen again. Okay. All right. So we have all of the fields that we want, and we need to provide it the text, right? So remember we had mentioned mapping. Um, so let's go ahead and say that the text is going to come from this field, which is part of the Google Doc information that we can grab. So text content. Okay, and now we can say, here is the text content. Okay. All right. So we gave the AI agent a prompt about what it needs to do. We gave it the text that it needs to work with, which is being grabbed from the Google Doc. Now we need to inform the agent exactly the content that it needs to be grabbing and parsing. So we're going to go down here and we're going to configure this section that says information. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay. So the information, we said email, right? Oh man, is this going to happen again? Hold on, guys. I got to figure out how to make this, prevent this from happening. Okay. All right. So we need a description, right? So let's go ahead and say email of the sender, and the name of the field is going to be email, and it is text. Okay, so that's one bit of information, and we have to do it for all 5 of the information that we want, or whatever amount of information you need. You gotta do this for all of them. So this is going to take some time. Bear with me here. I'll try to do it as quick as I can. So we're going to add another bit of information. Now we're going to do the word count. The description is the number of words in the document. And then we're going to say word count. And that is going to be a number. Okay, cool. We got 2 out of 5. Let's go ahead and do the third one. Language source. The source language of the project. We're going to say language source, and that needs to be text. Okay, cool. 3 out of 5. Let's add the language target. This should be a description. So the language target for the project. Language target. It's a text. All right. And last thing here is going to be the deadline. Deadline or due date for the project. And it's a deadline. And it is, we'll just give it a text. We don't have a field for date, so we'll just say text. All right, cool. So what we've done here is we have fully configured our AI agent. Okay, we gave it a prompt. We gave it the text to work with, which is being grabbed from the Word document. And we also configured all the fields that we need. All right, let's save that. And I'm going to fix this sizing of this. Okay, cool. So what we are ready to do now is to add the next module that we want to add. Okay. So remember, the goal here is to parse the data and bring it into our Excel spreadsheet. So we need to create another module for the Excel spreadsheet. Okay, so we're gonna go here, look for Google Sheets. Sorry, not Excel, it's Google Sheets. All right. So remember, here are the actions that we can do. And what do we want to do? We want to add a new row. So we're going to click on add row. Okay, cool. So what do we do next? If we haven't already, we would connect our Google account, but we already did that. And what do we do after that? We configure the details for this module. Okay. So let's go ahead and configure the details. So we want to select it by path. We're going to use our Google My Drive, and we're going to select the file where we're going to send the data. So the file is this file right here. It's a make demo. So let's go ahead and connect that. So we're going to find the make demo folder right here. And then we're going to find the make demo file right here. Okay, so that is connected. So now we need to decide what sheet name. So sheet one. All right. We're going to click on sheet one. Very good. And now, remember, we are mapping data, right? So we first got the data from the Google Doc, and then we sent it to the AI agent. The AI agent parses it, grabs the info it needs. Now we can map the data that it found into our Excel spreadsheet into the fields that we've created. So these fields automatically get populated because my spreadsheet has uh, header names, right? Client name, company name. And so that's why that gets populated here. All right. So we need to map the data that the AI agent found for the client name into the client name field. But actually, we didn't select client name. We only selected like 5 of them, right? And that was email address was the first one. Okay. But we can't select it to populate it. Okay, this is perfectly normal. The reason why we don't see those selections yet is because we need to at least run our automation one time so that the data flows through and the scenario or the modules are aware about the fields that are being extracted. So let's go ahead and run our scenario so that we can have those fields populated. All right. So while I'm doing that, if you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, or if you just want to say anything at all, go ahead and do that. Okay. Let me get that ready here. I'm going to hit save actually. And we are ready now to go ahead and run the the automation. So I'm going to hit this button here, right down here to run the automation. Okay, so once you run the automation, you see these bubbles here get populated. That means the automation was ran. And now when we hit the Excel button here, or the Google spreadsheet button here, when we try to map the data here, all right, we see we have access to the data that was populated in the AI agent. Okay, so now we can go ahead and map all of that data. So let's go ahead and map the data. So email will go here. Word count will go here. Language source will go here. Language target will go here. deadline will go here. Okay. And now we can go ahead and close this. We're almost done here. We're going to save this. So we mapped all of the data that we want into the fields that we want for the Excel spreadsheet. We're going to go ahead and save it. Okay, so we're pretty much ready now to see the result. So we've created the different modules. So first we created a scenario, right? And that's pretty much saying we want to create a new automation. We've added different modules such as the Google Doc, the AI tool, and the Google spreadsheet. We linked them together. We configured each of them. We mapped data between each of them. And now we want to see if we can get the information that's in this Google Doc to be sent to an AI agent that is going to parse the information, and then it's going to send the information into this this Google spreadsheet. So let's see if that's going to work. Row number 3 is unpopulated, so we expect that to be populated. And remember, we're not trying to get all of this info. We only ask for specific info such as the email, the word count, the source, target, and the deadline. Let's go ahead and run it and see if it's going to work. All right, so we run it. It shows that one ran, and then now the other 2 ran as well. Let's check the spreadsheet. And yes, the spreadsheet gets the data, gets the email, the word count, the language source, and the deadline and the language target. Okay, so what have we learned here? So we're able to utilize a tool such as make.com to create automations that can be utilized by AI, and you can have some agents in there that can work with all these different tools. In this example, we had a Word document with some content that would be similar to what we would see in an email, and we sent that data to an AI agent that is going to parse that information and then send it over to a Google spreadsheet. So we can have something like this running in the background always and capturing those emails that are coming in and then sending the information wherever it needs to be. And so, yeah, this is an example. Go ahead and work on this yourself. If you got any questions or need help implementing it, just go ahead and send me a direct message and I'll be glad to help you. All right. Have fun. See you guys later.